The demonstration shown in this video is intended to provide an overview of the 3M Series 100 automated integrity test device. For actual operation instructions, please refer to the operations manual supplied with the device or contact 3M Purification Technical Support. The 3M Series 100 automated integrity test device is utilized to determine the integrity of any membrane filter configuration. The following information is required to program a test on the device: pore size, diffusion rate, test pressure, the upstream volume in the housing, and the number of filter cartridges in the housing. Each of these parameters will be discussed in more detail later. When the device is activated, a series of messages displays, including the latest version information. It will then note the last test program used or display the message "Filter Unknown." Two options are now available. If an existing test program is known and you want to access it, simply press the corresponding number on the device keypad. If there are no stored test programs, or you'd like to program a new test program, press Stop on the device keypad. For purposes of this demonstration, the latter is assumed. Therefore, Stop is pressed, and a new program will be created. Test Filter displays on the screen. Note that either the up or the down arrows on the keypad may be used to scroll through the available options. Our objective is to program a test, so we will cycle back to the Program Test option and then press the Start button. Using the keypad, select a number to identify and store the test program on the device. This number must be between 1 and 19. Note that the numbers on the display screen move from right to left when entered. For example, pressing the number 3 now results in the display showing the number 13. The 1 previously entered moved from right to left. Again, note that the maximum number of programs that can be stored is 19. So if another number is entered now, both the 1 and the 3 disappear from view, and just the 5 remains. Note that the number entry technique is the same for all relevant subsequent programming menus. After the program number is selected, press the up arrow. This is where pore size of the filter to be tested must be entered. This information can be found on the sticker attached to every filter bag. Note that the pore size value entered must be between 0.01 and 4.99 micron. There is a small right-pointing wedge located to the left of the value entered. When this wedge is filled in, the value entered is acceptable and you may advance to the next menu screen. If it is not filled in, however, an unacceptable value has been entered and it must be corrected before proceeding. Note that this wedge will be present in all relevant subsequent programming menus. After the pore size is selected, press the up arrow. This is where the maximum acceptable diffusion rate per cartridge filter must be entered. This information can be obtained from literature sheets for the cartridge filter being tested. Note that the values are expressed per 10-inch cartridge filter. If the filter or filters to be tested are 20 inches, 30 inches, or 40 inches in length, use simple multiplication to determine the maximum allowable diffusion rate. Note that the maximum diffusion rate per cartridge filter entered must be between 1 and 999 milliliters per minute. After the maximum allowable diffusion rate per cartridge filter is selected, press the up arrow. This is where the test pressure must be entered. This information can be obtained from literature sheets for the cartridge filter being tested. Note that the test pressure entered must be between 0.14 and 58 psi. After the test pressure is selected, press the up arrow. This is where the number of filter cartridges to be tested must be entered. Note that the number entered must be between 1 and 99. After the number of cartridges to be tested has been entered, press the up arrow. This is where the upstream volume of the filter housing must be entered. Consult appropriate literature, which displays the upstream volume for every 3M purification filter housing using every filter combination. Simply locate the 3M purification filter housing ID and the number of filter cartridges tested to identify the upstream volume. If a non-3M purification filter housing is used, please consult with 3M Purification technical support. Note that the upstream volume entered must be at least 10 milliliters. After the upstream volume is selected, press the up arrow. This is where the stabilization time must be entered. Note that a stabilization time duration of 60 to 300 seconds is typical. After the stabilization time is selected, press the up arrow. This is where the maximum testing time must be entered. Note that a test time duration of 60 to 300 seconds is typical. After the maximum testing time is selected, press the up arrow. This is where the length of the filter or filters to be tested will be entered. Press the up arrow again to access the entry screen. Regardless of what is on the display screen, always press the star button on the keypad. The display depicts the number of cartridge filters to be tested, previously defined as 3, the pore size of the filter to be tested, previously defined as 0.2, and the middle entry is the overall length of the cartridge filter or filters. Enter the length by pressing either the 1, 2, 3, or 4, which corresponds to a 10-inch, 20-inch, 30-inch, or 40-inch filter, respectively. For our current example, we will assume we are using 40-inch filters. If an error is made when entering values, simply press the pound button, followed by the star button on the device keypad. This will allow you to re-enter a value. The pound button serves the same purpose for all relevant subsequent programming menus. After the length of the filter to be tested is selected, press the up arrow. This is where the filter serial number can be entered. Press the up arrow again to access the entry screen. Press the star button to input the serial number. Note that letters are typically a part of the filter serial number. However, letters cannot be entered by the device. Thus, it is recommended that the letters simply be omitted when entering the serial number. Alternatively, the numerical equivalent of a letter may also be entered. After the filter serial number is entered, press the up arrow. This is the entry screen for the filter lot number. Press the up arrow again to access the entry screen. Press the star button to input the lot number. As with the filter serial number, the lot number likely contains letters, and it is recommended that the letters simply be omitted when entering the lot number. After the filter lot number is entered, press the up arrow. This is the entry screen to identify the filter housing used. Letters comprise most of the housing descriptors, so it is recommended this entry is skipped when programming via the device. Press the up arrow on the device keypad twice. This is the entry screen to identify the fluid type used for testing. Press the up arrow on the device to access the entry screen. Press the star button on the device keypad to cycle through fluid type options. Note that these are the only choices available. Also, entry on the screen is not mandatory to conduct a test. It is a purely optional entry for informational purposes only. Press the up arrow on the device to complete the programming phase. Press the up arrow on the device again to display the maximum allowable diffusion rate for the program test. Press the up arrow on the device again to display the maximum allowable pressure drop per minute for the programmed test. Finally, pressing the up arrow on the device again will return you to the main menu. If more specific detail regarding any part of this video is required, please contact 3M Purification Technical Support.